Okay, so as I mentioned, these are pretty much just going to be trig word problems. So we're going to start by just reviewing the trigonometry that we've been working on this past week. This should be pretty comfortable to you at this point. You would identify the designated angle, then label what sides you have. Here we have hypotenuse and adjacent. And then using SOHCAHTOA, you identify which function you need to use. So with A and H, we're going to use cosine. So cosine of 42 is adjacent over hypotenuse. And that's how you would set it up. And then to solve, multiply both sides by 9.5 to get k by itself. And then once you have this set up, you can plug it into the calculator. So depending on your calculator, plugging it in might look a little bit different, but 9.5 cosine 42 gives you this answer. So we'll say k is 7.06. And then of course, just make sure that's logical for the situation. And that looks like that would be a logical answer. Okay. Then this one over here, again, just review, we have our designated angle right here, opposite and hypotenuse. So this time we're going to be using sine. Sine of this angle n degrees is opposite over hypotenuse. On this one, we're solving for the angle measure, so we're going to use inverse sine or second sine on the calculator. So sine to the -1, 25 over 31 is what we're going to do in the calculator. So in here, second sine, 25 divided by 31. And you get this number, 53.75. So n degrees is 53.75 degrees. Continuing. Okay, so now bringing in angles of elevation and depression. These are very popular on SATs and standardized testing. So here we have a person. There is like a perpendicular line to the line of sight. And then we have either angle of elevation or angle of depression. Something to note is if you were to draw like a line through this person like this, you have a 90-degree angle right here, and you also have a 90-degree angle up here. And sometimes we use that 90-degree angle to find this measure right here. Also, if you were to draw a parallel line to the floor right here, then this angle and this angle would be the same because those are alternate interior angles. So whatever this measure is also this measure, if you need it to solve the problem. Okay, so here the first one. Like I said, these are going to be word problems. Sometimes they give you the picture, and if they give you the picture, that's really nice and convenient. If they don't give you the picture, then you literally have to draw it. There's no other way to do it. So it says a tree casts an 8-meter shadow. It shows the tree. It shows the shadow right here. It's 8 meters. And the angle from the ground to the tree is 30 degrees. They show that here. What is the approximate height of the tree? So we're trying to find this height right here. Height of the tree. So this will be our x. Okay, so based on this angle, we have opposite and adjacent. And using SOHCAHTOA, opposite and adjacent would be tan. So we'll set this up, tan of 30 degrees equals x over 8. And then once we have it set up, we can multiply both sides by 8. 8 tan of 30 equals x. You can plug it into a calculator, and it comes out to x equals 4.62. And that would be meters. Okay. Next one. Next one, for this example, they don't give us a picture, so we have to use what they're saying to draw a picture so we can figure out how to solve it. So they say find the angle of elevation of the sun with a 7.6 meter flagpole. So I'm going to draw the flagpole. 7.6 meters. This flagpole casts a shadow of 18.3 18.2 meters. So drawing the shadow here, 18.2 meters. Says find the angle of elevation to the sun. So the sun would be up here, casting the shadow, and then it like goes down like this. Okay, so we're trying to find this angle right here. This is our x degrees.
Could you make it the other way?
Yeah, so in this example, it's facing the other way. It would be fine. Okay, so to find this, we have opposite and adjacent. So using SOHCAHTOA, opposite and adjacent, we're going to use tan. So tan of x degrees is 7.6 over 18.2. And then in the calculator, we'd have to do second tan or inverse tan, tan to the negative 1, 7.6 over 18.2. And you get x equals 22.66 degrees. Next page. Okay, another example without a picture, so we have to draw the picture. It says angle of depression from a balloon with a 75-foot string to a person. The ground is 36 degrees. Okay, so here's our balloon. Okay. And then the string is 75 feet long. I feel like that's long for a string to the person. So here's the person. Here is the string. Whoa, I don't know why I drew the string to the head, but whatever. 75 feet. To a person. The angle of depression from a balloon to a person. Okay, so the angle of depression here. Angle of depression would be right here, so that would be 36 degrees. And then how high is the balloon? So we're looking for the height of the balloon.
How did you know that was the angle of depression?
From the picture on the last page. So angle of elevation would be like looking up this way. Angle of depression is like this. So I drew it just like that. And then you might be thinking, well, how do we use that to find this? There's different ways you could do it. So if I'm just sketching out a right triangle, this would be the 90-degree angle. Alternate interior angles are equal. So if this is 36 degrees, then this is 36 degrees. And then I can use opposite and hypotenuse to find the height. So that's what we do here. So opposite and hypotenuse, SOHCAHTOA. I'm using sine. Sine of 36 equals, call this x over 75. Then multiply both sides by 75. 75 sine 36 equals x. And x equals 34.08 feet. For the next one, new situation, we're going to draw it out. A person's eyes are 5 feet above ground, standing on the runway of an airport. Okay, so here is person, said person, with eyes that are 5 feet from the ground. 5 feet. Standing on the runway of an airport 30 yards from the control tower. So drawing that 30 yards from the control tower. I'll draw the control tower kind of like this. The control tower, the person observes an air traffic controller at the window up here. And the control tower is 132 feet tall. So 132 feet. What is the angle of elevation? Okay, so I'm going to draw the triangle here. So angle of elevation from this person to this person. Draw on the right triangle. Okay, angle of elevation would be this x degrees right here. Guess I could use a different color. X degrees. Okay, now I need to find the dimensions here. Everything is in feet except for this, so I'm going to turn this into feet. 30 yards, 30 times 3 would be 90 feet. So this is 90 feet. And then this length right here would be 132 minus 5 foot. So that would be 127 feet. And now I can use trig to solve for the angle. So we have opposite and adjacent. So opposite and adjacent, we're using tan. Tan of x degrees equals 127 over 90. Then in the calculator, I would do tan to the negative 1, 127 over 90, and x equals 54.68 degrees. Okay, next one, another situation, we're going to draw it out. It says a 30-foot tree broke from its base and fell against a house. If the tree touches the house at 21 feet, what angle is the tree forming with the house? Okay, so we're going to draw a house. And then a tree that fell on it. Pardon my lovely drawing. I'm not an artist, but there we go. Okay, so the house, 21 feet tall, and then the tree is 30 feet long. It wants to know what angle it creates with the house. So this angle right here, x degrees. Okay, so we have opposite and hypotenuse this time. So we're going to use sine. Sine of x degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. You do sine to the negative 1, 21 over 30, and you get 44.4 degrees. And last but not least, last example, it says a person is at the top of a cliff. So we're going to draw a cliff. Here's our person. Cliff is 100 feet tall. 100 feet tall. Sees Gilligan's boat. Okay, we draw a boat. His sighting of the boat is an angle of depression of 10 degrees. Okay, so angle of depression to the boat, 10 degrees. How far is the boat from the base of the cliff? So we're trying to find this distance here. Okay, there's a couple different ways we could look at this to solve. This creates a 90-degree angle here, and then 90 minus 10 would be 80 degrees. So you could use this measure to solve for this. Or you could say, okay, alternate interior angles are equal. So if this is 10 degrees, this is 10 degrees, and you could do it that way. And that would also make sense because if this is 90 degrees and the three angles of a triangle add to 180, then this would have to be 80, this would have to be 10. So at this point, there's different ways you could solve this. I'm going to use the 80 degrees here because that creates opposite and adjacent, and use tan of 80 x over 100. If I use the 10 degrees, it would still be opposite and adjacent, and it would still use tan. The only difference is it would be 100 over x, and as we know, that's more complicated to solve. So this one is just the easiest one to solve. Then multiply both sides by 100. Who dat? 100 tan of 80 equals x. Like that. Okay, then you'd plug this into the calculator and it comes out to 567.13 feet. So that is the distance from the cliff to the boat. And that's all. So the homework on this is on Schoology. The homework is only 5 questions just because I think it takes a little bit more to solve these. There is one question on the homework. It says geography and it talks about Mesa. The answer is 296. Just FYI. It's a harder problem and we didn't really go over how to solve that specific problem, so the answer is 296. So that is all. You can get a laptop, get started.